Hey there, everyone. Welcome to Ask Me Monday. I'm Vicki Howell. Monday. I'm here with you as I am 3 Mondays a month, courtesy of our friends over at Knitter's Pride, Knit Pro, outside of the North Americas. Really, I'll talk about granny squares today because my team and I are on a total granny square kick. Although when I went back to look at projects, like back from my very first yarn lines, and then I looked at my Pinterest account, I had like a Gaga for Grannies Pinterest board like a decade ago. So at this point, I think it's really just more of a lifestyle choice. Oh, and the very first, I learned how to squares when I was 8, and I still have that blanket. I should have brought that. That would have been good for the story. Today, we're talking about Sunburst, which are adorable, and we'll talk about that in a second. But if you're watching live or later, whatever, the replay, we're going to start our show how we always start. And that is sharing how we were creative over the weekend or whenever you're watching this, the last few days. And look, it does not have to be I wrote an opus. It does not have to be, I made an entire blanket. Just even if it's a couple stitches, what I'm really looking for is just inspiration. I love to know what you guys are making. Any kinds of crafts, all of the crafts, all of the arts, all of the making of it all. So feel free to come back and post it in the comment section here. And also, if you'll let me know where you're watching from, I would dig that too. I am at Yarnier Studios here in Buda, Texas, which is just a scotch to the left geographically from Austin, Texas, where I live. All right, so what I did this weekend is it rained almost the entire weekend. It was so and not just like a little drizzle, it rained here in Austin. And so I really just snuggled in and finished the sweater that I'm wearing. So this is not my design. This is by Holly Woodward, I believe is her last name. This is actually a free pattern called the Gertie Cardigan, and I got it off of, I believe, Love Knitting. It's made with just some Ritual Dyes gray yarn that I had left over from something that I didn't make. And then it's got stripes of the yarns from the May Yarnier box. I wanted to just sort of have a little memory of them. So I'm going to see them down so you're not having to look at my elbow. We sold out. So this is the Real Teal. So these were dyed just for us, custom colors, anniversary. And this is Aquaversary from Sweet Georgia. This is from Wool. I wanted to just have a little memory. That's the 3rd anniversary for my and so I just the only thing that I learned is I think that knitting is superior for ribbing. I've tried all of the ribbings. Crochet is superior for anything that needs structure. So I did some knit twisted rib cuffs, well, a little bit because I have a lot of situation going on. And the base is supposed to also be, I just did a rib with, as everything else is a really great sweater pattern if you've never made a sweater before, crocheters, because it's literally here and a square. So, and this is the Gertie Cardigan by Holly Woodward, I believe. Alrighty, so let's talk. Oh, and I should say hi, Mona. Hi, Kathy from Houston, just up the road, down the road, to the left of the road. Hi, Chris. It is not actually raining here now. It is nice and sunny, so that is some good stuff. If you are having a fuzzy connection, it might be on your end, maybe it's not, but if you watch the replay, usually everything writes its way. Hi, Irma, good to see you. Beth Davis. All right, so what we are going to do today is talk granny squares, as I mentioned. So for those of you that are on TikTok, I don't really tick and I barely talk, but my team does. There's this big granny square sweater phenomena that's happening. I think it got started by the singer Harry Styles wearing one, and then people were making all of these cray-cray, like cray-cray sweaters and outfits. But I'm always up for leaning into a granny square. So we dug into our archives, and on Saturday we sent out a whole newsletter. If you don't subscribe to the Vicki Howell newsletter and you want to, just go to my website, VickiHowell.com, or Yarnia.com, either one. And we decided to put together like just a whole ode to granny squares and launch a variation of an existing pattern. This is the hip granny pattern. This one is done in our colors of Mad Tosh TML that we teamed up on. It's a little stripy on the back. This is a variation of a pattern that we already have. We just added a bonus variation, so changed up the colors, the gauge is a little bit different, but this is like, I walk into the studio every day and see this, and it just makes me so happy. So that's where we're at. That pattern is available. I've linked to it from today's post at VickiHowell.com. So we've got that. And today, well, I want to just keep celebrating granny squares, so how am I going to do that? I've already taught my go-to granny square, which is this one, you know, just straight up granny. So I decided, what about a sunburst granny square? But then you know how to make a square. What if you want to make something with that square? And so what we're going to be doing today, well, we're going to be learning how to make the sunburst granny square, which is what you see there. And then I have in directions, I have the pattern for this little, I don't know about you, but I drink all of the sparkling water. And before I get notes about the straw, this is a bamboo, fully sustainable straw. This is a little can cozy to make your cozy look bright and shiny and also stay a little cooler. So I am going to again show you how to make these granny squares. It's really fun because you turn a circle into a square because shapes. And then, like I said, you can go to VickiHowell.com to get the pattern. If you know anybody that might be up for making one of these cuties, please share this video. It really helps when you share. My cord's going out of control. I appreciate it. All right, so supplies. First of all, you are going to pick your yarn. I am working with scraps of small amounts of a fingering weight yarn. It does need to be a lighter weight or else it is going to be way too big for a can. As it stands, I had intended to make all kinds of squares, and really just 2 is what you need. A can is about 8 1/4 inches around, but you want to make it, and this is just sort of a rule of with crochet, more knitting than crochet. You don't want to make to the exact circumference dimensions because it will stretch and then it'll be too big. So we are going to make 2. So you need fingering weight yarns and 4 colors. Color A, B, C, D, that's 4. For me, I used unicorn tails for from our Mad Tosh collection. Vicki Howell for Mad Tosh colors. I have most of them here. So I'm using A as heart hands, B is pinky swear, which is orange, C is spirit fingers, and D is fingers crossed. Use whatever you have. This is a great time to just dig into that stash because you don't need a ton of it. D you need the most of, so that might be the one that you want to pull out like a full unicorn tail, but all the other just need a little nubbin. So go in, make scrap ones. They'd be so adorable. All right, so you need the yarn, you need the pattern at VickiHowell.com, and then you need your hooks. So the hook that I used for this is a size E. Now, gauge is kind of important for anything that fits, so I've listed the gauge at VickiHowell.com, but if you find that your squares are a little bit too big, when you do the double crochet to sew them together, you could just take it back and do single crochet. Vice versa, if it's too tight, you could add another row of double crochet or a row of half double crochet. There's a little room for error here. But I used an E, and you know, a lot of times on this show, I use Knitter's Pride ginger hooks or the Vicki Howell Aqua hooks that Knitter's Pride manufactured for me, but they're wooden, and I have to be honest with you, once I get below a size G hook, I tend to really prefer metal. It's asking a lot for a little tiny piece of wood to handle all the maneuvering that you do with crochet. So I like to move over to metal. So we've got a couple choices in the Knitter's Pride line. We've got waves, or we've got zing. And you can get them or you can get them as sets at your favorite local yarn store. The size that I need happens to be in the set that I have, the zing set. So I am going to grab that. But again, your size might go up or down. So this is a 3.5 millimeter E4 is what I'm using. Okay, so we've got our hook, we've got our yarn, we've got our pattern, or we will once you go to VickiHowell.com, and I think we're ready to go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to flip over the camera while you talk amongst yourselves. And if you don't crochet, I actually learned how to crochet, as I mentioned before, when I was 8 making granny squares. I actually have several crochet courses, one of which, my Crochet 101, I believe, is from like how to buy yarn all the way to granny square. So check it out. I've also done, for the knit show, I've done a quick tutorial. I've got lots of stuff to cover you if you're interested, and those are free. So, all right, I'm gonna flip around, and sometimes it's just cute to watch other crafts, right? Okay, let me flip. And you're about to see all kinds of boxes. Here we go. Okay, the first thing that we're going to do, and I'm going to take this, I'm actually going to take this off my can. So this is a Sunburst granny square. Is it not just the cutest little pop of happy ever? And we're going to be starting from the center and working out just like you would with a traditional granny square. And just for fun, I'm going to pull in a traditional granny square. So on a traditional one, you would start here with this little like 4-leaf clover situation, but here we're starting with a circle. All right, so I am using the magic circle method, which I have a tutorial for. I mean, I'm going to show it to you now, but I have an individual one linked if you need it. You could also just, chain 4 and make a loop and work that way if you prefer. Totally up to you. It doesn't make that big of a difference. So I'm using the magic circle. So I am going to chain 3, and that will count as a double crochet. And the first one is always a little bit fussy. And then I want to put or work 16 double crochets, and I'm using American terms. So just know that if you're watching in the UK, it would be a treble in the UK. I'm going to work right into the center, 16 double crochets. So that's yarn over, pull through a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 twice. And you're going to do that all the way around. And the sort of purpose and upside of using the magic circle method, if you decide to go that route, even though it seems a little fussy, is that you can pull it as you go. Can you see, or is that too hard? And it actually tightens the circle. You know what, I'm going to show you that I have another piece made. So you'll do that until you've worked 15 double crochets in the center, and you can see here that if you take the tail, that is the wrong one, it cinches it up. See how that just kind of curled it up to make a nice, tidy center situation. All right, and again, this pattern is written out at VickiHowell.com. All right, so what I've done is so a total of 16 because our chain 3 counted as 1, and now it is time to join the round, but I'm also adding a color. So I want to join my color with a slip stitch for the next round. I don't feel like I like the angle that you're getting. Let me do that. All right, so I'm going to go to the top of the beginning chain 3. And if you have questions, please just write them in the comment section, and if I don't get to them here, I will absolutely, ask me what you need to. It is Ask Me Monday, after all, and I will come after the live broadcast and answer in the comment section. Okay, so I want to lay my color B, which for me is Peace Fingers, and I just want to pull that loop through. And from here you can cut color A. I've already done that, and then move on. Okay, so round one rather, are the double crochets. The next round are these cute little puffs. So we're going to be creating 16 of those. So what I want to do is, at the beginning I need to chain 3 just to get to the height of this poof. Excuse me, I want to chain 2. Okay, so I've chained 2, and now in that same stitch, I'm going to yarn over, pull through a loop once, yarn over, pull through a loop in the same space twice, yarn over, pull through a loop 3 times, 5, 6, 7, and I'll have 7 loops on because we are counting the loop that was from our chain 2. Then I want to yarn over, pull through all 7 loops, and then chain 1 to just cap it off. And that is your first little cute little puffin. All right, so then you're going to sort of repeat all the way around, but you're going to do an additional yarn over because you're not going to have that chain loop. So yarn over, insert in the next space, or the next stitch rather. Pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3, yarn over, pull through 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I might have done 1 too many. You want 7 loops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. I'm going to do it one more time because I don't like how not smoothly that went. And then we want to yarn over, pull through all the loops. Let's do that whole one again. Let's just pretend that didn't happen. Yarn over, insert, pull through 1. Yarn over, insert, pull through 2. So now we have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yarn over, pull through 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. Yarn over, pull through all of the loops, and then chain 1 to cap it off. And you're going to do that in every stitch all the way around until you have 16 like I have here. Okay, so we're at the end of round 2. We need to change colors, but it's going to look a little bit different this time because we want to work in those chain 1 spaces. So what I'm going to do is I am still going to join in the top of that chain 3, pull through. But then I'm going to keep slip stitching until I get to that chain 1 space. Wherever the first one is, it doesn't actually matter where you start. So you're just going to pull through, slip stitch until you get to that chain space, which is right there. When you get to that chain space, you're going to drop your color B, and this is where color C comes in. You're going to join it here. We didn't join it with a slip stitch at the beginning of the round because our slip stitches to get us over to the space would have been really visible, and it would have, not in a pretty decorative way. Okay, so now you can cut B if you'd like. I've already done that. And now we're going to work on this round, which is our cluster round. Okay, we are working in our chain space, as I mentioned. So we're going to chain 1, 2, 3. We're not really counting it. So from here, we're going to yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull up a loop. But then we're going to yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So it's almost like you're working the beginning of a double crochet. So we're going to repeat that. Yarn over, insert in the same space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Repeat, yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, pull through 2. And then we're going to do it one last time so we have a total of 5 loops on our hook. Oops, I went through one too many. There you go. So now we have 5 loops on our hook. We want to yarn over, pull through all 5, and this time we're going to chain 1 to cap it off and then another one for good measure. The reason why we're doing that is the bigger that your circle gets so that it lays flat, the more room it needs to breathe. The circumference is growing. All right, so now we're going to move over to the next one. Yarn over, go to the next space, pull up a loop, pull through 2, and repeat. 2, 3, total of 4 times. You'll have 5 loops on your hook. Pull through all, chain 2. All right, so you're going to, those are your clusters. And again, this is all written out at VickiHowell.com. You are going to repeat that all the way around until round 3 is complete. And now it is time for the magic of turning our circle into a square. So you're going to get a piece that looks like this. And just like we did with our round 2, we want to get space. So I'm going to keep I did join with the round at the top of the chain 3, and then I'm going to get over to our chain 2 space. So I'm still using color C, but now I'm over in that chain 2 space. It means that it's time for me to join color 3, or excuse me, D. So I join that with a loop. You can cut your C. I've already done that. Okay, so now we are going to chain 4. This chain 4 is going to count as our first triple or treble crochet. Again, I'm working in US terms. We're starting with half of a corner. So just for a visual, we're starting, let's say right here. So we are going to work 2 triple crochets in the same space. So, whoops, so that means yarn over twice, insert, pull up a loop, and then pull through 2 loops 3 times, hence the name triple crochet. So we're going to do that once, twice. Okay, now we're going to move over. We're only working in these chain 2 spaces. We're going to move over to the next one. This time we are going to work a cluster of double crochets. What we're doing is we're using different heights of stitches to accommodate for the arch of a circle. So we're going to move over. So double crochet, yarn over. We're working in that big juicy space. Pull through, and then pull through 2 loops twice. And we're repeating that 3 times in the same space. Okay? Now we're moving over to the next one. And we're going to work half double crochets. So we yarn over, insert, pull through, yarn over. You'll have 3 loops on the hook. You want to pull through all 3. We're going to do that twice more. Okay, and now we want to reverse it. So this is sort of like the apex. This is our highest point of our circle, so we need to start making longer stitches again as it decreases. So there's a cluster of double crochets. And now we are ready for our first real whole corner. We had the beginning of one over here, but now we're going to work with a full corner. So that is 3 triple crochets in the same space. Then we want to chain 3, and this is the actual corner. And then we want to work 3 more triple crochets in that exact same space. And if you need a refresher, a slower refresher on any of these stitches, I have a playlist on YouTube called Get Schooled Crochet, and I go through all of these individual skills slowly for the individual stitches. Okay, so there's a corner. And look at that, you've got a straight edge and a corner. So now you really just lather, rinse, repeat. Do we have time to keep going? I don't know that you need to see me do all of it, but let's see what we can do here. And I'm on this kick. I mean, I love this so much that I'm considering designing a little kind of square top out of them, like a little flowy summer top that you'd put over a tank top. I think I'm feeling cocky because I actually made a garment and finished it the other day that was not an accessory, which is, you know, kind of rare, especially when it's not like a deadline thing. Okay, so I got talking and then I got off key. not off key, off topic. All right, so that was double crochet. So now I move to half double crochet. And again, this pattern is written out at VickiHowell.com along with links to where to get these Knitter's Pride hooks and the yarn I'm using if you want, and the pattern. So pin it, keep it, love it, be it, all of the things. Oh, and if you hit like, I think that helps too on this video. I don't really know. I don't really know. Okay, so I'm to another corner now. So that means triple crochet 3 times. In one corner, chain 3, triple crochet, still in that same corner. I think I just accidentally did a double. It looks short. That's okay. You can always stick your hook in the last loop and try again. And these go really fast. I think it's really fun when changing a different stitch on every round because it makes it still interesting, which is the reason why I'm thinking about doing a top, because I think I'd lose interest otherwise. Which probably says more about me as a person than it does anything else. Okay, so I'm back in action. I guess we're doing this. I guess we're just finishing it. We're here together. We're granny squaring. We're feeling it. Got our 70s vibes on. That was too many yarn overs. So now I'm to a double crochet cluster. All right, so this is going to be our next to last corner. So triple and or treble, you do you. And these would be adorable in a chunky yarn too, as a scarf or a worsted weight turned into, you know, a hat. I actually have a pattern. What did I do with that? I should have posted that too. I have a really cute granny square, like snow hat, ski hat, I guess is the term. You know, obviously pillows, blankets. They're really versatile, which is why they probably never really go out of style. Like we go in phases where we pretend like we hate them and then we realize we can't quit them. We just can't. I mean, look at this cuteness. Okay, so home stretch. Half double crochet, so I have to go in the last space, and this is my last double crochet cluster. Which brings me to the corner that we now need to finish off. So we started with just a cluster of triple crochets. So now we need to do actually what is the beginning of the corner. Oops, so we're going to work in the same space. And sometimes you have to fudge it a little because of where you started. We're going to do our three triples, chain 3, and we are going to connect by slipping a stitch into the top of the chain 3. And that, my friends, is a sunburst granny square, holding for applause, curtsying, and all of those things. So to make this cozy or koozie, so this is a big thing. I'm from Southern California, we say cozy, but I've lived in Texas for 18 years and they say koozie, so I sometimes go back and forth, just like I go back and forth with y'all and you guys. So bear with me. So you just need to make 2 of these squares, and then you add a row of single crochet, and then double crochet, and then you single crochet them together. You could also just seam them together. Same on the other side, you'll create a tube, then you are going to work a round of half double crochets, and then a second round of my favorite ribbing that's crochet, front post, back post, half double crochet, you flip it over, you do the exact same thing. full pattern is written out at VickiHowell.com. So get thee over there to make that cutie. All right, I'm going to flip around again. All right, that's really it. That's really all I have to give today, is just a little bit of sunshine, and we're starting to see a little sunshine here too, so that worked out. If you have any questions, like I said, post them in the comment section down here. Please share the video if you know anybody that might want to work. Try it again. With it. If you want to make a more traditional project, don't forget we've got this pillow, cutie pie pillow pattern, and that is linked to also from VickiHowell.com, and that, my friends, is pretty much it. I do want to tell you, just do a real quick update on Yarnier. Yarnier, for those of you that don't know, is my online shop and also subscription box business, and as of, we've sold out in May. Thank you so much for celebrating my 3rd year anniversary and buying all of the boxes. We do have some of the yarn left over that was dyed just specifically for this. There's very little left, and once it's gone, the colors are gone. Like, this was just done for us. So Yarnier.com if you're interested in that. But when we open sales again at the end of this month, we are kicking off our very first free summer. So if you are someone with a wool allergy, or I would say vegan, but we are doing a silk. So if for whatever wool is not jam, but you have been wanting to try one of our like delightful little boxes, this is the time. You could get a 1 month, or you could get the 3-month subscription that also gives you a free ebook, digital ebook, and you will get 3 months of, we're going really small, like 1 woman, 2 women companies, 1 to 3 women companies, and we are just going to be working with some really great fibers. And just for summer, only for the summer, we have special boxes in the coral. We flip-flopped our colors just so you will see that there's a little something special, a little something different. We've never done a wool-free summer before. We're giving it a try, and just wanted to be a little extra cheery this summer. So that sales will open imminently. Since we're sold out, it'll probably be within the next 3 days that we open up at .com. So that is that. Thank you so much for starting your week with me. Take a little time to be creative. It matters. You matter. It's good for your health, your mental health. Be good to each other. Stay safe. Stay healthy. All my love to you. Bye.